What's up, guys? It's Caliber here.
And the Beast.
And it is Modmouth.
Oh, mouth.
We're somewhat prepared this time. I actually want to talk about something I had seen from Vice on YouTube. Oh boy. Beast watched 2 of their videos and he's just like, what the fuck?
He's biased, I'll give you that. I mean, I just don't like them.
Most, besides vaping YouTubers and people who look at it from a neutral perspective, like things like Vice, D-News, and YouTuber or channels like that, they typically are biased. It'd be like, oh, well, I see one from Lacey Green was covering it saying that 90% of people who vape failed quit smoking. What? Excuse me, what? I'm in several vape groups where pretty much 90% of the people were all successful. 1 million and counting.
Yep.
Or at least I think it's 1 million and counting. It could be more than that. I haven't looked at it. When I seen like 1 million and counting, that was back in like 2015, 2016, something like that. But no. So this prison, which I think is a very, 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 very good idea, is implementing e-cigarettes. Not like e-cigarettes like you see like this. Cigalikes. That's pretty much what they are. But they work on a very, very low voltage. So they can't be turned into an ignition source and they can't be used as weapon. It's just, the fucking inmates are eating this shit up. And I think it's a very good thing, because if anybody's went through a Nick fit, you know how it is. It is hell. Mm-hmm. And not only is it hell for you, it's hell for the people around you.
Yep.
Easily irritable. It just, the list goes on. But we're not necessarily here to talk about that. I want to talk about the way Vice is going with this. Vice thinks that the sheriff, or the person that runs the prison, I don't know if he's called a sheriff or prison guard or warden. There we go. Warden.
Yeah.
It's basically using the inmates for money. Okay, so what if he is? I look at it this way, and the warden even said this. He said, this, because they have these and they have nicotine and all that, they're a lot calmer. Him and his staff are a lot safer. The whole situation is safer.
Right.
If the fucking warden wants to do it, go right ahead. If it's helping. And not to mention, yes, you can kind of gather that he is getting money from this because of the inmates. The inmates will buy him. They sell them for like $2 a pop. Which isn't bad for something like that. I mean, obviously, it's not rechargeable, refillable, or anything like that. It's just you use it. And you smoke it, and you got your nicotine. But the best part about this is the money that's being generated for this is actually going back into the prison to help the inmates with their living environment, their well-being, and so on and so forth. And you gotta Vice, you gotta turn this into a fucking shit show. I really wish YouTube would exterminate you, exterminate D-News, and pretty much anyone who is biased towards studies that apparently claim that vaping's bad.
Mm-hmm.
Because, yeah, you may have these made-up fucking charts and all these graphs and everything, but the university, or the Royal College of Physicians, stated that e-cigs are 95% less harmful than cigarettes. I'm gonna take that chance. Wouldn't you take that chance, Beast?
Oh, I would, definitely.
And we are taking the chance. I've been vaping for what? Going on 3 years now? Something like that?
Yeah.
You've been vaping for what? Close to 11 years?
About that, yeah.
And breathe fine. I don't cough. I haven't had to go to the hospital So that should tell you something. I'm sorry. I don't care what anybody says. A decade is long enough. And you know the fun fact is e-cigarettes are a lot older than a decade. I think there was a guy back in the 1960s who put a patent on e-cigarettes.
Mm-hmm.
So e-cigarettes have been around for quite some time.
At least the concept of them, yeah.
Yeah. And of course, anything can be bad for you. See, the thing is yes, we breathe oxygen. But we don't breathe pure oxygen. It's mixed with some other stuff. Like hydrogen and so on and so forth. It's we're not even breathing pure oxygen is what I'm trying to get at. Because pure oxygen, 100% pure oxygen is bad for your lungs.
Yes.
And we breathe shit in every day from automobiles, fires. Like those people out in California had to deal with wildfires all year long. That shit can't be healthy for them.
It's true.
It's carbon. Anything that involves a flame can have carbon, tar. Let's see what else. It's just the shit's not good for you. But I don't know if it's really carbon. But I do believe diesel vehicles actually produce carbon.
Yeah.
That shit can't be, like, diesel vehicles, yeah, they may be good on gas mileage, but they're really not environment friendly. Unless you get biodiesel that burns clean.
Well, that still burns something.
Yeah. So no matter how you look at it, we're breathing shit in that we probably shouldn't be breathing in. Why? Because of industrious reasons.
Yeah.
You think all those plants that are emitting those toxic gases are good for you? Here's a good one. Nuclear power plants. Yeah, the energy may be clean, but guess what happens when that explodes? It can level a town.
More than town.
Yeah. Take Chernobyl, for example.
Yeah, that's very true.
But we're not here to talk about history or science. We're here to talk about vape. That's what we do. Point is, vaping's not that bad. I'd rather see somebody... I don't like kids vaping. This is true.
No.
But I would rather them pick up vaping than pick up a cigarette.
I'd rather pick up nothing, but I mean, if I had to choose one of the two, I guess. But here's the thing about the video we were talking about before with the prison system. They're going through a rehabilitation system. And if it gets them in a healthier state, because it's gonna clear their lungs, it's gonna make them healthier, which is gonna cause them, with them not having any more, like, less health problems, less breathing problems, it's going to make their mood a lot better, more receptible to the rehabilitation process. Try to fit back in with the classes, basically, because they offer classes and all that jazz. They kind of like fit you back into society.
Yeah.
You're willing more to do that if you, the ones who do use nicotine products, that'll not let them have nit fix. It won't make them close down because of that. Two, it also is good for the other inmates because they're not getting secondhand smoke and other harmful carcinogens and stuff that's from smoking itself. And it promotes a better atmosphere for the inmates all around. Now, a lot of people say, like, well, the argument I don't like is, I think it's out of context. They say, well, they don't have a choice. They're addicted. They don't have a choice. Well, they had a choice to pick up the initial substance that got them into it. I admit, when I picked up smoking, it was my choice to get addicted to nicotine, and just like anybody who else does that kind of thing. I'm not saying that that's not my fault. I'm not saying that's not anybody whose fault who didn't do that. But if they are already, and there's nothing you could do about it, and that police officer or the warden, like you said, he's getting harassed for finding a alternate solution. Yeah, he thought about making a buck on it. Do I con him in a capitalist society? We are America, first off. To make a dollar here and there off of an inmate that wants to be able to do that within his smoke-free environment. Just saying.
I think one thing we could take from the video, and Vice should really read their own shit as well. The reason all this came about is because was it Kentucky they were in?
I think so.
Kentucky pretty much made it illegal to have tobacco products in prison.
Right. Which I don't disagree with. The reason I don't disagree with it is that most state buildings or any other government buildings are all smoke-free campuses anyway. That's due to the taxpayers not wanting them to have harmful air pollutants in the air that's toxic to everybody else. We all, as smokers, have to deal with that. We deal with it in different ways. Now, some of us quit. Some of us go to vaping. Some of us go to other alternate versions to get the nicotine that they need, or they, again, like I said, they quit. Prisoners, on the other hand, they don't have another option. You take away the cigarettes, what do they got? Well, at that time, nothing. So he saw the opportunity and got them vape, which I think in the long run is going to be better off for them anyway. Again, it's a smoke-free campus. Vaping's allowed in there, obviously because he's the warden and he decided that he was going to bring it in there anyway. And if they're willing to pay the price to do that, to get their nicotine, then why is that a problem? I mean, the thing is, you can argue with it all you want, saying that you're taking advantage of somebody, like they were trying to get to them. But if you don't want to pay that price, you don't have to pay that. You just don't do it. I mean, yeah, they're addicted to nicotine. I get you, but studies show that nicotine alone is not the most addictive part of cigarettes in the first place. It's basically no more harmful than caffeine is. And I don't like the demonization that they try to put on this substance. Nicotine is all in the nightshade family. Mm-hmm. Tobacco, even potatoes, and strains of tomatoes. So, are we going to just demonize nicotine to that far to where we ban potatoes and stuff? I mean, where's it end? I mean, how far down this rabbit hole of demonization of this substance we're gonna demand? See, the problem I think in America, and this is kind of going a little bit off topic, but I'll jump back on topic, is we're having a lot more problems with opioids, I think, in this country for addiction purposes, and that needs to be more addressed than I think nicotine is. That just not going to go that far into it, but that's what I want to say on that. But
yeah, I honestly think the FDA should look at the warden. I mean, Kentucky, tobacco is banned in prisons. The warden brought vaping in, then he knows it's not a fucking tobacco product.
Exactly.
The FDA needs to look at that and be like, hey, because I will tell you right here. All right, and this can go for many different things. This can go gun control and everything. But we're not here to talk about that. We might talk about gun control in a Wednesday video. Who knows? But one thing we could chalk this up to is, all right, ban all these cigarettes. What is it exactly going to accomplish?
Nothing.
because people still get on the black market. I mean, hell, look at the war on drugs. Yet people are still using the drug. Why? Because they're getting it on the black market. They're getting it on the streets. There's a will. There's a fucking way.
Heck, put this in perspective. They got the war on drugs. That failed, and now to compromise the overdose problem that we're having in America, instead of saying, hey, which I think they should do, is if you're going through an overdose, hey, sorry, you chose that, or at least, give them like one chance or whatever. They give them a goddamn freaking reset shot. The little shot they give them, the freaking goddamn puts them back into freaking motion and shit to like basically stop the overdose. Do I think it's a miracle drug? Obviously, it's fantastic they have it, but that's literally what the war on drugs has come to, is a compromise. They just basically they're waiting online to bring you back. So we see how much of a failure that is. If there's a will for somebody to get something, they're going to get it. So
I'm not gonna mention any names, but when I first started vaping and I was in a vape group and the fucking FDA shit came down and everything, people were literally stockpiling up on e-juices and everything. Or not e-juices, but they were stockpiling up on stuff to make your own e-juices. One guy said, hey, if they ban it, I'm going to the fucking black market.
Well, I don't think they'll ban it. Problem is, vaping did the right thing. They let big tobacco in the door with their products. So along the line, no matter what, big tobacco companies are going to get their cut, regardless. With they also have their hand in the vaping market. If to think otherwise is absolutely acid. I mean, you're living under a rock. It's their realm. They're the new change. They're going to at least jump on a bandwagon. Are they going to change their name? Of course so, because freaking their tobacco names are completely tainted at this point. Nobody wants to be associated with that. It's a symbol of death. So they're making their money. That's the reason that's why vaping is not going to be really touched that bad. Now, that's the same thing with same thing with the cannabis situation, where if they would have some form of government backing or a way to tax it and make it a good money scheme to kind of work in there would be no question about it being legalized in the whole country. But it not having that same backing like nicotine does, then it's just not gonna go that way. So I don't ever see it being banned. Do I see restrictions happening? Possibly. Flavors may be compromised. I think it's something that's going to be down in the air. Again, I don't know really there's going to be a way to get around it anyway, in some form or another.
But what pisses me off about this shit is the FDA wants to attack flavors, right? But yet they'll let companies like Game and all that, the cigar companies like Game, and some of those like you can get like 2 cigars for like 99 cents, literally come in all sorts of flavors: strawberry, blueberry, grape. They want to allow those on there, but they want to take away our flavors like this. Well, maybe not this, but something like this. This is peanut butter and jelly. This sounds fucking delicious. A peanut butter and jelly thing, it sounds fucking delicious. But what they have to understand is, us adults, we like that too.
We like flavors, and the reason, okay, the biggest thing about flavors, a lot of people think like, why do you need it? There's a big transition. A lot of people don't realize there's a big transition from using cigarettes to vaping. There is a big transition within your body that has to take place. The biggest difference is that there is with the combustion of the cigarette where you have the flame, it's a very dry hit. what you inhale is dry. It's smoke. Smoke is dry. Vape, on the other hand, is a heavier, um, more moist substance that you're inhaling. So it takes a lot more to kind of train your body to get used to that transition. And it's really hard for a lot of people. Now, what gets them through is you find a flavor that you like, and you kind of that's kind of like what you're. It's kind of the prize to kind of switch. The prize to kind of like, hey, this is a good flavor. I like this. I want to vape on this flavor. This is what I'm gonna go for. Then you focus on it, and that's how a lot of these, like, at least I know for me, and I know a couple other vapors the same way as I am, and I know there's numerous that's how they were able to kick the habit and switch over to vaping, is because they had something like that to kind of promote the transition. Without that, I mean, we have already seen things that were similar. They had the nicotine inhaler. The nicotine inhaler, when it came out, it was probably in the 90s, I think. 90s, early 2000s. And it gave you the nicotine you needed, just like a cigarette would. But it just was it was built in it looked like a little stick about yay big. You put it in your mouth and you would press on it, and that would be like it would shoot the nicotine into your thing, and you would just kind of inhale. And that would give you the full nicotine of a full cigarette. The problem was it didn't give you a throat hit. It didn't give you that nice oral fixation that you're looking for that kind of counteracts it. And it doesn't give you that message to the brain that I got a cigarette. I got what I needed. So without those messages going subconsciously, it just didn't pan out. That's also with the gum. That's why gums, the Nicorette gum, some people it works for the majority of people, it doesn't. You're not getting that message to the brain saying, I got what I needed. That's it. So with the flavors being there for the vape, it helped a lot of people quit. That's why vaping is on the rise. I hope it becomes more of a main staple in American society, or the world society period, and helps people get off tobacco products in general. And if they start using it in the correctional facilities, more power to them. That's another step towards their rehabilitation of what they need to be. It puts them ahead of the game for some people than most.
Yeah.
That's how I look at
it. With me, it was a little bit different because obviously, I dipped, and I dipped for years. This year, I think would have made the 4th year I was dipping, because I did mention that I was kind of dipping on and off here and there, especially mainly when I went fishing. I would dip, but that's besides the point. The reason it was so hard for me to quit dipping is because obviously I was used to having little pellet of tobacco about that big in my lip here. So that was one of the things. But the main thing was, so with dipping, you're taking in so much nicotine at once, right? So it's got you fucking spinning. And that is, I couldn't, unless I upped my nicotine and obviously up my nicotine to say a 12 or even a 25 or 20 milligrams of nicotine, and then went down or went higher with my coil resistant, I wasn't getting that from vaping. Until I found Nic salts.
Yeah.
This month will make 3 months since I stopped dipping. All because I actually need to get some more Nic salts, because this fucking 6 milligrams just isn't holding me off anymore. Now, obviously, I'm not. Well, I'm gonna have to ask Taro that. I'm not sure if I'm easily irritable. You might be able to tell me that. Do I seem easily irritable?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess give or take, yeah.
Yeah. Which is, I need to go back to my 50 again and start working my way down.
Yep.
And get to a point, because I like nicotine. I can vape, but I don't mind vaping a 3 or 6. But I don't want to be stuck at 50 for the rest of my life. Because that's just a lot of nicotine. But that's the whole point, and people say, "Oh, why do you need nicotine if you're quitting?" That's the thing. We do need nicotine to quit. We have to. It's like taking a medication for so long. So say like you take Prozac for so long, you have to wean yourself off of that shit. Just like you have to wean yourself off of nicotine. It's not that I know they're not the same thing, but you get the point I'm trying to make. Alright, here's a better example. Say you're taking Vicodin for so long, right? Got a back problem, or like you had surgery, and you were taking Vicodin for months, right?
Right.
Once you start, like, once you have no more pain, like, say you take one Vicodin, and then after that, you have no more pain, or I say take one Vicodin. I'm trying to figure out a way to explain this a little bit better. So say you're prescribed Vicodin, and you have to take that for so many months. Well, soon what your doctor's going to start recommending you do is be like, hey, don't take one today, but slowly, like, work your way down. If you quit anything cold turkey, it's going to fuck you up. Some people can handle it, others can't. I'm one of the people that can't handle it. It's not because I'm weak, it's because I had a very serious crutch on nicotine. I've been on nicotine for so long. And even when I started smoking again, yes, I smoked on and off. I had a cigarette here and there. I didn't smoke as much as I dipped, but I smoked here and there. But now the one thing I'm most fixated on, especially when it comes to nicotine, is that throat hit. That throat hit is what satisfies me now. Which is pretty cool. It's not cool. But it's pretty interesting. I don't know why I said cool. It's pretty interesting. And I vape a lot, I do. And I've probably got well over $1,000 invested in this shit. Wouldn't doubt it.
Probably, yeah, most definitely.
I do. I know I probably have more money invested in than what you do.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
And that's not a good thing. That's not something to brag about. I mean, you could brag about it. I like different mods. I like the way they look. I like the way they feel. Like, I've used this ever since I forgot when I started using this again. I tried holding my Vupu drag, and it feels too skinny for me. I like this. It's kind of wide. I also put this nice little sticker on it. If anybody was wondering what that says, because my autofocus isn't working. American Pile Driving Equipment, APE, Kent, Washington. Got these stickers. I got one on the back of my laptop from my grandfather. So yeah. But no, vaping isn't as bad as it seems. I think we ran this video into the ground. What'd you say?
I'd say so.
Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed the video, leave a like down below. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to S13_the Beast. Anyways, guys, this is Beast and Caliber signing out.